Hi everyone, I'm Matt from Look Into Bitcoin, and today we're going to be doing a 2023 market outlook for Bitcoin. To do this, we'll be using a number of resources, all freely available on lookintobitcoin.com, your number one source for Bitcoin information. If you haven't already, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to ensure you're receiving all of our content as soon as it's released. So right now, we're just on the 200 weekly moving average heat map chart on lookintobitcoin.com, and we can see Bitcoin currently sits well below its 200-week moving average, which obviously isn't ideal. The 200 weekly moving average just being the average closing price of the previous 200 weeks of price action, averaged out to give us this smooth price action line. And we can see in almost every single bear cycle, this has actually acted as a bottoming support for Bitcoin's price. So every time we've reached this is usually indicated we have bottomed or at least are close to bottoming, at least when looking at the weekly closing prices of Bitcoin. But we've actually had multiple months of consecutive closes beneath this weekly moving average, which is something that we need to consider. I think a big emphasis for 2023 is going to be, number one, reclaiming the previous all-time high that we achieved in the 2017 bull cycle that sits just beneath $20,000, which is a rather significant level of resistance and just a psychological level as well, being beneath the previous all-time high. And of course, this 200-week moving average, which probably is going to be a big resistance that we need to cross and make into new support. As new investors come in, they'll look to this level as a sign of Bitcoin confidence and trying to maybe use this as a case for Bitcoin's trend finally changing and maybe a new bull market commencing. If we look at some more fundamental on-chain metrics for how the year might pan out, we can look at the 1 year hodl waves. We can see, again, in every single instance where Bitcoin has had a long drawn-out bear cycle like we are currently experiencing, this 1 year hodl wave value, which is the percentage of Bitcoin wallets on the network that have been holding Bitcoin in that wallet for at least 1 year. So when this increases, it shows that a majority of holders have been holding for at least 1 year, whereas when this decreases, it's showing that new wallets are coming into the space. And when this dips beneath 50%, it shows that over half of the new Bitcoin wallets that are holding Bitcoin have been created within the past year. So as we can see, in every single Bitcoin bear market, this has been increasing substantially as new retail just doesn't come in as quickly as it does during a bull market. But once this finally peaks and starts to flatten out, this can be an indication that potentially the bear cycle is coming to an end, or at least maybe just some chop and consolidation is due before we can maybe kick off the new cycle. And we can see right now the Bitcoin 1 year hodl wave value is around 67%, and it does kind of look like it is flattening out. It might be a case like we had in 2018, 2019, where it's a little bit more volatile just due to the price action. But we can see generally once the 1 year hodl wave reaches values this high, and especially after this long of a bear cycle with this much drawdown, this usually is a good indication that we must be somewhere near the tail end of a bear cycle and are hopefully not going to experience too much more downside. We can also use the price forecast tools chart, which is one we've discussed quite a lot recently, as we've recently found support on both the balance price and the CVD, which is the cumulative value days destroyed value. So if we actually just zoom in here, we can see Bitcoin's price has bounced off of these values, which currently sit around $15,000 to $17,000. And historically, in every single one of Bitcoin's bear markets, this has been the bottom price for Bitcoin. But it doesn't necessarily mean that once Bitcoin has hit this price, that price has suddenly rebounded to the upside and a new bull market has commenced. Usually once this level is reached, it means that Bitcoin's larger downside move may be over, but we're probably in for some sideways consolidation along these lines. So it wouldn't surprise me if now that we've reached these values, if we saw Bitcoin, at least in the first half of 2023, with a lot of sideways and fairly boring price action, as not too much retail comes into the space, and a lot of people are slowly accumulating, but are still too tentative to go all in and are waiting for a more convincing trend change in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets. So just to summarize, if history is any indication looking at the previous Bitcoin bear markets, 2023 will likely be a largely unspectacular year for Bitcoin, yet it should be more positive than 2022. These periods of uneventful price action and low retail interest are generally the best times to accumulate and prepare for the future, but be prepared for a long, drawn-out period of consolidation with hopefully not too much more downside, but ultimately the influence of global markets cannot be ignored. With rumors of a larger and more drawn-out global recession looming, anything can happen and we should prepare for all possibilities. If you like this video, then please visit lookintobitcoin.com, where you can also consider becoming a site subscriber to gain access to live chats, in-depth newsletters, indicator alerts, private TradingView scripts, and more, all for a fraction of the standard industry price. And let me know in the comments down below and on social media, what are your thoughts on what 2023 will look like for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets? Do you think we're overdue a big rebound? Do you think more drawdown is to come? Or do you agree with the analysis we've done today and think that it likely is going to be a fairly quiet year, at least in the start of the year? Maybe it'll pick up towards the tail end of 2023. Who knows? All we can do is react to the information and data that is given to us. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.